Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about fiat currency, cryptocurrency, and the proposed CBDC, the central digital bank cryptocurrencies that seem to be all the rage. Now, I'm far from a crypto bro. I do have some Bitcoin, I have some Ethereum, and I have some Litecoin. Just dabbling. For me, it's just a gamble. You know what I mean? If it goes up, cool. This isn't my retirement plan that I'm going to get rich off of Bitcoin and retire when I'm, 40 or something like that. And just a little speculative play because, obviously you see the volatility and a lot of people have made money off of it. So I just threw some shillings in there, a couple of ducats into the cryptocurrency. But again, just for fun, basically. So I'm not here to defend all the cryptocurrencies that we're seeing. The Bitcoins and all the major ones, and then the meme coins, the Doge coins, all those stuff. I'm not saying that, this is going to be the wave of the future and the way that you have to go. But I do find it funny that, the central banks demonize all that stuff and then will turn around and put out the exact same thing and just slap central bank digital currency on it and think, problem solved. Everything is going to be okay now that we have control of everything, which seems to be the way they're pushing it. I'm going to get into an article that goes over a little bit about it there, but I can definitely see why the central banks would want this, because it will just give them even more control over people's money. With fiat currency, there's a lot of times where you can kind of just slip some money, hide some money away that, the government might not know about. But if everything is on the books, everything is on a ledger, and everything is digitalized, well, then they're going to know every single cent that you have, and they're going to know every single cent that you owe come, say, tax time, something like that. So yeah, that is what I would like to talk about today. And like I said, there was an article going over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump onto the computer and quickly go over this article from moneymetals.com. Okay, so this is the article here. It is on moneymetals.com. And the title is Globalists Convene to Plan Central Bank Digital Currencies. So getting down here, it says central banks and bureaucrats are seizing on recent turmoil in cryptocurrency markets to push aggressively for central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. It says Kristalina Georgieva, managing director of the International Monetary Fund, says Bitcoin may be called a coin, but it's not money. It's not a stable store of value. And then going on, Central Bank of France agreed, saying cryptocurrencies are not a reliable means of payment. Someone must be responsible for the value, and it must be accepted universally as a means of exchange. So, of course, the only solution, they say, is CBDCs, digital currencies issued by central banks, recognized officially by governments, and circulated into the economy in partnership with large commercial banks, would supposedly represent safe, secure, and stable digital money. And I like how they put supposedly in this article, because I have no reason to believe that it would do that any more than Bitcoin would. So if they're suggesting that Bitcoin isn't safe, isn't reliable, it's not secure, then the central bank's version of it is probably going to be worse. Because if there's anything that you should expect from central banks, is they're going to mess things up. They're going to do a bad job of it to make sure that they cover their own interests. They really don't care about the people in this instance, because they're always touting the safety and touting this and that. But, if they believe that all cryptocurrencies are garbage, then CBDCs will be garbage. The only thing is it's going to be their garbage, and it's going to be doing all the stuff that they want to do. So obviously we saw the hole we've dug ourselves in with the fiat currency. That's just, a house of cards waiting for a gust of wind. They're just looking for more control, you know what I mean? They're not going to be any more safe or secure than any of the other digital currencies. It's just going to be, run by them. And it's going to be better than fiat, because with the digital currency, they're going to be able to keep track of every single cent that you have. If the only monetary system and the only ways of paying for things and the only recognized money in the future is going to be with these central bank digital currencies, then that's going to mean that the cash that you have will have no more value, literally no more value. It has no value to begin with, the fiat currency. It's backed by nothing. But once they stray away from those pieces of paper, then they'll literally be worth nothing, because they want to make sure that they know every single person's total amount of wealth. They want to know exactly how much money you have. And then they're going to sell it to you as convenience. They're going to say, oh, come tax time, everyone's stressed out, everyone hates dealing with taxes. Well, since we have all of your banking information, since we know every single cent that you've made and every single, deduction that we can do, don't worry about your taxes. We'll do it for you. We'll make sure that you receive the exact amount that you're supposed to receive, and we'll definitely tell you the exact amount you need to pay us if you need to pay us. And people will jump on it. Don't get me wrong. Some people will just go blindly through it. They don't really care about the monetary system, don't care about the money. Sure, they hear about corruption and manipulation and all this stuff, but they'd rather just keep their head in the sand. They have enough with their own lives to worry about. They don't need another whole headache to keep them up at night thinking about the financial system. They have their own life to keep afloat. That's a lot of what they're banking on, is people just blindly following what they're doing. It'll be sold to them as convenience, and people will eat it up. So I'm not going to read through all of the things because it's just obviously bashing the cryptocurrency that's out there now. I'm not a big pusher of it. I have some Bitcoin, I have some Ethereum, I have some Litecoin. I never suggest anyone to buy any. For me, it's more of a gamble. I just picked it up thinking, if it goes up, great. But if I lose everything, it's not like I'm going to lose my house. I didn't put that much into it. As I said, sort of just a gamble. But they do go over, in detail all of the risks that are associated with the digital currencies and the cryptocurrencies. And they're all true. I'm not saying that, they're bashing it for no reason. I'm just saying for them to turn around and say the only alternative and the only answer is for central banks to have the digital currency, well, that's full of shit. But as it goes down here, would a proposed CBDC or a Fed coin be the solution to such risks that people always bring up when they're discussing cryptocurrencies? It says, not if preserving purchasing power is a goal. A digital dollar issued by the Federal Reserve would make it even easier and more tempting for Washington to grow the supply of money at will. Coin wouldn't be a stable store of value, as the IMF describes. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has even admitted that with inflation at 40-year highs, a central bank is failing to meet its own mandate of price stability. So it's funny that they made a mess out of all this fiat currency stuff, and they're just like, oh, just give us a fresh slate with this digital currency that gives us even more control over everybody. So yeah, there is a little bit more to the article here, but I'm not going to go through it all. It's I basically went through the broad strokes here, where obviously they want to demonize just regular old cryptocurrency and then pump up the central bank's digital currency. The idea that the CBDCs will be the answers to everyone's woes. So yeah, there you go. That's it. That is the article that I want to show you there. And I do know that from some of the previous videos that I've made, that there are a few people, or a fair bit of people, that have watched my videos that are quite into crypto and do defend it quite regularly. And they do have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder with a lot of people. For some, it might be because they do have a fair bit of money and a fair bit of their wealth tied into it. And they're just kind of hoping that they didn't make a bad decision, and are kind of going to be pushing back and trying to only talk about the positives. For me, like I said, I'm sort of indifferent on it. I do see the value, and I see the many detriments as well. So for a lot of people, they just don't want to recognize that their crypto does have some downsides. Some people are just 100% pro, push it, again, probably because they have a lot of money in it. But I don't have the position that the central banks do. The central banks are pushing this idea that all cryptocurrencies and all digital currencies are going to be bad unless they're controlled by central banks. So you don't really need to read too much into that to know that, they're kind of full of garbage. They just want to have more control over people. And they'll say, oh, we're the only way that can be secure. We're the only way that it can be safe. We're the only way that can guarantee that the money will be there, because it's not true. And you've seen what it's been like with this the money machine just being turned on by a simple press of a button. They can make up this fiat currency out of nowhere. It'll be just as easy, if not more easy, with digital currency to do the exact same thing. So it's not going to be helping with the purchasing power, like they said there. It's not going to be helping with basically anything. It's just going to be basically like fiat currency, except for every penny that you own will be known. But you know what? there's always two sides to a story. So if you do think that cryptocurrency is bad, but CBDCs are not, I would definitely like to hear from you in the comments, because I have not heard that from anyone that's not a central banker. You know what I mean? Because it does not seem like it's a very good idea, these CBDCs. But like I said, if you come up with an argument that might change my mind, I haven't heard one, but if you have it, let me know in the comments. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.